Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more Reddit stories. And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love, guys. Now, before we do get into today's story, there is a couple of warnings actually on the story itself. It says possible grooming and homophobia as well. So if you do want to skip the story, please feel free to do so. Timestamps are down in the description and along the timeline below. Thank you. Now, let's get started. And the story is titled, Bridezilla Ruins Her Own Wedding, Demands Bridal Party Pay for Her Cancelled Wedding. Starting the year strong, I swear. So, my friend Dana, female 29, was supposed to be getting married this past Sunday, 14th of the 1st. The wedding got cancelled and things have gotten very crazy. Dana was getting married to Josh, male 32. She's still in college with me and asked a few friends from college, myself included, to be in her bridal party. Now, from the start, the wedding has been a disaster. I'm just going to point out a few of the crazy stuff we dealt with. 1, she refused to invite my best friend, who she's supposedly good friends with, because she thinks we're lesbian lovers. We're not. 2, she had us go to the dress fitting and then demanded each of us pay $2,000 each for our dresses. Apparently she had a specific style she wanted. I can afford it, but I won't buy a $2,000 dress for one event. Some of the girls in the bridal party don't have that flexibility with money. 3, apparently Josh couldn't invite any single females that were not blood relatives of him. So if he had any female friends, they were axed. 4, one of the girls in the bridal party doesn't drink because of her religion. Dana accused her of being pregnant in front of her parents and almost got her kicked out of her house. She was not pregnant and she was dropped from the bridal party. She was a class act though, and never bad talked Dana. Just said she couldn't make it. We found out about it pretty much on the day of the wedding. 5, she tried to make us cancel our holidays with our families to instead go with her to a destination bachelorette party. I work full time, even during holidays, so I told her that was not happening. More of the bridesmaids said similar things and she dropped it. That's just 5 things of countless drama this wedding was having before the day. Now, the meat of the story comes on the wedding day. The day started horrible. Dana was having a meltdown because apparently the flower girl had to cancel because she had chickenpox. She was threatening to sue the mother unless she brought this sick 3-year-old to the wedding. Josh apparently was able to calm her down from the start of her outburst and we began preparations. The whole day she had constant outbursts. She made people cry, like wedding staff and bridesmaids. The maid of honor deserves a medal for the amount of diplomacy and bullshit control she had to do. I, for the most part, took the easy route and decided to work outside the bridal suite, like checking flowers, making sure food was okay. Basically any excuse not to be around the bride. Eventually, I had my hair and makeup done. Then the bride asked for a little bit of time alone to decompress from the stress. We didn't even fight it. You could not see a group of women run faster away. Wedding was starting in 30 minutes, so we figure she should be fine alone for that little. I spent those 30 minutes just sitting in the chapel with my phone. It had to be about 5 minutes before the start of the wedding when maid of honor came over to tell me that the wedding was cancelled. I asked her what happened. Maid of honor said Dana was having a quickie with Josh's uncle in the room. Josh caught them. I just stared at the maid of honor with my mouth pretty much about to reach the floor. She told me to run and that she was trying to get as many people out before things exploded. So I quickly got my purse, gathered the 2 bridesmaids that were carpooling with me, and we felt like the devil was after us. I checked with the other bridesmaid and all had escaped. That night I called the maid of honor to check what had happened and the tea was bad. Apparently, and rightfully, Josh called off the wedding. Called her a few names, told off his uncle, and since has left with his mates to, I hope, the biggest single man party ever. Feel so bad for him. He's an absolute gem of a man. He apparently also told Dana and her parents that she'll be paying the cancellation fees. According to the maid of honor, Dana's father told her in front of everyone that she was paying it on her own for being a slur. I thought that was the end of it. I made the choice to separate myself from this mess until I got a call from Dana, not even an hour ago, to demanding $5,000 to help pay her cancellation fees. According to Dana, it was our duty as the bridal party to pay her cancellation fees. I obviously told her no, and that she might as well lose my number. I'm never speaking with this woman again. This has been pretty much the reaction of all the bridesmaids and the maid of honor. By the way, maid of honor? Josh's older sister. OP adds, the sad part. She had her makeup and hair done when we left dressed and ready. So yeah, she was wearing her wedding dress for this. Some suggested that OP should have stayed to get more info, and OP says, as much as I like tea, I know when it's best to retreat and get it from a witness. Pretty sure if I stayed, Dana would have dragged us into something. Someone says, was Dana always like this? OP says, oh, we're sure there's no moral compass in there. She used to be incredibly nice way back before her engagement, and since becoming the first bride of the group, she became insufferable. We were all on our last thread. Someone says, how long was she having a thing with the uncle? OP says, how long with the uncle? No idea. I found during the wedding and don't have any info on it since. Someone says, poor Josh, and I hope he finds someone. OP says, not gonna lie. Sure, half the bridal party would offer themselves as tribute. He's a good looking guy. I don't know him that well, but we've had a drink a few times. He'll find a girl when he's ready in a snap. Someone said, what happened to the 2K dresses and what were they? OP says nobody brought the dresses. Some of the girls can't afford it. She had a full meltdown in the chat until Maid of Honor got involved and offered to buy cheaper dresses for the bridesmaids. OP continues, Ellie Saab, assuming that's the dress name, dress was beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I wouldn't buy it for a wedding. Someone says, how did that one bridesmaid's parents think she was pregnant when she doesn't drink for a culture? OP says, well, my understanding, bear in mind, I'm sharing as I was told, is that Dana and this bridesmaid are really old friends. So the bridesmaid's parents have a level of trust with Dana. Apparently bridesmaid had been feeling sick a few days prior, and I remember she had to cancel something. Then we went to prepare the bachelorette party, and there was going to be an extra charge for mocktails, which she offered to pay. Dana found out somehow and spoke first to her parents, telling them a bridesmaid was acting like she was pregnant. Not mentioning that the whole issue was because bridesmaid refused to make an exception for the bachelorette party about drinking. Obviously still kinda bad on the parents, but I can see where they're coming from. Bridesmaid is not pregnant for the record. She was actually just sick. Also, in case someone asks, bridesmaid no longer lives with her parents and hasn't for a few years. Bridesmaid was then contacted by her parents and told her to never come back to their home for being a whore that got pregnant outside of marriage. I know she lives in dorms, so I imagine she goes back during vacations. It's still the family home and she keeps a room there. Someone says to OP that this is fake because there's no cancellation fees on the day of the wedding. OP replies saying, oh, pardon me for not knowing how wedding planning works when I've never worked or cared for planning a wedding, because must be common knowledge for everyone everywhere. I translated what I was told. What I was told by the bride is, and I've translated this using Google, so, I'm not sure if it's 100% right, so bear with, but it says, I need the money to pay for the wedding. The son of a bitch cancelled and they are charging me. Holy moly, drama in the chapel. I can't lie to you guys. When the maid of honor came up to OP, who was sitting there and basically just said to run, I thought the picture in my head of all these people sat there and shit, we need to get out of here. It's all going to kick off. It made me chuckle. But the absolute level of audacity. OP comes in with their first update and says, hey guys, I know a lot of people want to know what happened. After talking to Josh yesterday, he asked me to only say that he's okay, figuring things out and moving on. We're going to stay friends with him and his sister. Dana was told that no one in the group wants to interact with her, and since then it's been mostly radio silence. I can't share more about Josh's future plans as he asked me not to. He did have a good laugh at some of the comments I show him and appreciates the support. One detail I did get corrected on for those curious was about his uncle. He's the younger brother of Josh's mother and he's 55 years old. I thought he was married into the family, but I got that detail wrong. I also found out the most disgusting detail is the uncle knew Dana since she was a teenager. Dana and Josh are high school sweethearts, so yeah, I kinda feel gross knowing that. Other than that, I got a major haul of cake, so at least I got something good out of this mess. Opie adds a bit of additional info on that one and says, a few things I've been asked not to share, but I can share Josh is okay and working to get things in order. He came over too and seemed down, but we got him to laugh a bit, so there's some good news. No news on Dana. I actually requested to change some of my classes with her or drop if I couldn't find an alternative schedule. Not in any hurry since I'm only a student part-time. Someone says 29 and still in college. Opie says first time for Dana, second time for me. A few of the other girls in my friend group are also returning or starting later in life due to college costs. Someone says what happened to the uncle and his family. Opie says from what I can share, I was asked to keep a lot of details private by Josh himself. His wife, uncle's wife, is planning a divorce. That's really all he wants me to say. The only reason I can't share what's going on with the uncle is because I don't know. I mean, I think he's scum, and I wouldn't let that man-ho touch me ever. But in all honesty, all I know is his wife is getting a divorce. I'm sure there's some accountability considering how angry Josh's family is, but that's for them to decide, and I'm not part of that conversation. Mozart Luna Echo says, about what the bride said in her text, says the Spanish version of the message makes absolute sense. She doesn't say that she had to pay a cancellation fee. She says that the son of a gun cancelled the wedding and now the bride has to pay for the wedding. She probably has to pay for the resulting bill since the groom cancelled and he wouldn't pay for it. So 2.5 months later, Opie says, so I finally got permission from Josh to update on the situation today. Going to start by saying he's doing much better. He's moved out to a new place and away from Dana, and has some of his mates as roommates. He's also cut contact with his uncle, as did most of his family. He's put a pause on dating for some time considering Dana was his first and only girlfriend for years, so he needs time to heal. Dana has now become persona non grata with my friends. She even tried to move in with one of them, without telling her, by appearing at 10 PM at night and saying, you can't send me away this late at night. Didn't work. Don't know where she's living, but I can say for sure she's absolutely without any doubt very much screwed. She has 4 lawsuits, one from Josh for obvious reasons, one from his sister for the dresses she bought, one from the bridesmaid she accused of being pregnant, and one from Josh's uncle since apparently Dana used his credit card. She apparently moved in with him after the failed wedding. So yeah, she threw away her life and she's very much without support. I saw Dana's parents some days ago and they haven't had any contact with her since the wedding. They're actually moving with their other daughter, 22, to another state. As for Josh's sister, we've been hanging out for a while. She's actually become super tight with my friends and I. We're even planning a trip sometime next year with her and a 7-year-old to Disney. And yes, we've all agreed to divide the babysitting. We offered, she didn't press us to do so. And I shouldn't be surprised with all the stories that we read. I always find myself saying this as well. I always find it worrying that there's someone out there like that. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from Big Lawn JJ from the Am I the Arsehole Here subreddit and says, am I the arsehole here for ghosting my girlfriend's daughter after my girlfriend cheated on me? I, 26 male, was in a relationship with my girlfriend, 26 female, for 6 years. I was engaged to her and our marriage was scheduled in a few months' time. My girlfriend had a daughter at a really young age. Her ex left the state immediately after he heard she got pregnant. When I started dating my girlfriend, her daughter was 2. Over the past 6 years, I've pretty much considered her my own daughter and treated her as such. I had plans to legally become a stepfather after marriage. I loved my daughter so much. However, a couple of months ago, my girlfriend confessed she'd been having an affair after I saw a text from her co-worker. The texts were so outrageous that she couldn't really lie about the affair. She said she'd been having an affair for a few months. I obviously cancelled the engagement and the wedding and moved out a week later. My girlfriend's daughter was a bit confused and it hurt me, but I really did not want to be around my girlfriend anymore. I've now completely cut off contact with both my girlfriend and her daughter. My girlfriend does still text me frequently and is asking me to reconsider at least maintaining a relationship with her daughter temporarily, because her daughter has constantly been asking where is dad and even been crying a lot. This does hurt me a lot and I really wanted to maintain a relationship with my girlfriend's daughter, But the issue is that if I do go over to their house, I'll have to see my girlfriend's face, and I just can't stand to see her face anymore. I'm trying to leave it all behind and already started going on new dates. Am I the arsehole? Oh man, whenever there's young children involved, it absolutely breaks my heart. And for you as well, OP, I can't imagine what you are both going through because of your selfish ex's actions here. She's the one that's caused this. She's the one that's created this damage, and you and daughter are the ones that are suffering for it. And it's an incredibly tough situation, and I'm really stuck with what to do. Yes, you got no legal rights to care for this child, but emotionally you are tied to her, and she to you as well. And from the daughter's point of view, and I'm not trying to put any pressure on OP at all in this situation, but her first father, if you like, air quotes, disappeared on her at birth, and now there's the potential of losing her real father who's cared for her all this time. My mind is telling me that you need to move on from this situation, but I kind of think, is there a way to do it gently as possible? Is there a way to talk to the daughter as like one final goodbye? Oh man, that hurts even saying it. Shit, I need to know what the comments say. First comment says, say goodbye to the little girl. Tell her the truth, or that you both don't love each other anymore, and that you still love her, but have to leave. Tiggity says, not the arsehole. Write a lovely letter saying it's not anything she's done. It's just her mother and you are no longer friends, and give your ex's daughter a keepsake, a small stuffed toy. Perhaps say you have an identical one, and when she sees it, it reminds you of her and all the good times together. Shock says you should probably move on. It'd be the best way to get over it. You'll only hurt yourself more by seeing your ex. And when your ex gets in another relationship, she had just cut you out of her daughter's life, and then there's nothing you can do about it since you have no legal right to see her. Exciting replies to that and says this, rode this ride before. Just because you care about the kid doesn't mean the ex cares about you caring about the kid. When she finds a new guy, you are gone. Your ex knew what she was doing when she banged co-worker and what it cost. She's just unhappy she is paying the price, and each time the kid cries is a constant reminder of how badly she fucked up. So she wants you to pay that price instead. If OP really wants her gone, he can tell her there's no way he can lie to the kid about why he had to go away, and take the fall for her. And a final comment from Introspective Lie, who says, not the arsehole. I understand why you were hurting, but everybody's saying it's the mother's problem since she cheated and missing the point completely. And everyone's saying the kid is resilient and will forget about it and move on, obviously know nothing about kids. This is an 8-year-old girl who now believes she is so unworthy that not one, but 2 dads didn't think she deserved even a simple goodbye. I don't think you can maintain a relationship with her, and I agree that you should not put yourself in the position of letting your ex manipulate you with her daughter. But I think it would be a kindness to have a final discussion with the girl, on neutral ground without her mum involved. Let her know that your leaving has absolutely nothing to do with her, and that as much as you care for her, when adults get into difficult situations like this, their options are limited, and for everyone's sake, you and her mother must make a clean break and move on with your lives. Tell her how special knowing her has been, and that you will not forget her. It may not be enough to help her work through the blow to her self-esteem that she is taking, but at least you have the decency to not ghost her. And if she sees that it's hard and emotional for you too, it might help a little. So OP updated the post and says the guilt of not giving my ex's daughter closure was eating me up. And the comments agreed that she would probably get trauma issues in the future if she didn't get closure. But even though I didn't want to communicate with my ex ever again, I did it one final time to give her daughter closure. I texted my ex this morning and asked her if she could drop her daughter off at a neutral location in the evening so I could spend a few hours with her and give her proper closure. My ex agreed, and at that evening, she dropped her daughter off to me. Her daughter was really happy and emotional when she saw me, and we spent the next few hours doing a bunch of fun stuff. After a few hours, as her mum was on her way to pick her up, I told her this would be the last time she would ever see me. It was not her fault at all. She broke down in tears and kept asking why, and begged me to never leave. I lied and told her I had to move to a different country and would never come back. I told her if she wanted to make me happy, she had to be good to her mum. I gave her a stuffed dog toy, also a letter. She was really emotional and cried a lot in the end, especially when her mum came to finally pick her up. I said my goodbyes and I told her I would always remember her. And that is probably my final update. Today was really heart-wrenching, especially seeing my ex's daughter crying like that. But I hope this gives her the closure she needs and that she understands it was not her fault. As for me, I'll carry on with my life as usual, although right now I'm feeling extremely hurt and devastated. I have a nice job offer in another state which I will probably accept. A change in scenery will probably be good for me and my mental health. Fucking hell, that was rough. All I was getting flashes of whilst I was reading it, it's like my young nieces and nephews and the potential of them being in the same situation and how they would feel, you know. Oh my god, that's awful. And there really is no other words for this apart from that I do hope that they heal in some way. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? How would you have dealt with it if it was you? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories, your love, your support, your time. Thank you. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care and much love.